Welcome back to Hello Pumpkin Studios, and in today's video we are going to replace the 10-inch blade that is on this Delta table saw. This was the manufacturer provided blade that they gave me, and Home Depot is currently running their Black Friday deal, so I picked up some of their table saw blades, and I'll show you those here in a second. But yeah, I'm going to go replace this because it is in dire need of a new table saw blade. As I just mentioned, Home Depot was running their Black Friday deals. So basically they were running these 2-packs and you get 2 blades as well. So you get 2 of them, and when you bought 2 you save $20, and each of these were $50 a piece. So basically I got one, almost buy one get one 50% off, which I thought was a great deal. These will last me forever because, as I mentioned, I've had this table saw for over a year now and it still has the manufacturer blade on here. So I am going to get that blade off and put one of these new Diablo blades on there. As I mentioned, these are 40 tooth. They did have an 80 tooth, but I ended up going with the 40 tooth just because this is just like general purpose blade that I think is best for everything. And the 40 tooth blade, it just wasn't really something that I thought I needed. So I'm just going to use these 40 tooth blades and they will get the job done. First and foremost, the most important thing is to make sure that your table saw is unplugged, or if you have a battery operated one, make sure you unplug the battery because you want to make sure that this thing does not kick on, since the on off switch sits right there. I find it easier to put the blade all the way up, and one thing to also keep in mind is to make sure you check to see which way the blades are going. So the blades are actually facing me. If you look this way, they're coming at me. So that way when you go to put the new one on, like this one, they want to make sure that you show the rotation. So the rotation, the blades are going to come at you on this Delta table saw. I'm underneath the table saw, and I know it's going to be a little hard to see, but underneath here, there's actually a wrench that you're going to need. It sits right here. So you can untwist this, and this is the wrench you're going to need to replace the blade. I got to move my stop blocks here, and it'll come off there sooner or later. There it is. So this is the wrench that you're going to need to replace the blade. Here's a better look at what the blade looks like, or the bolt wrench that you're going to need to loosen the blade. Next, to get to the blade, you're just going to take this housing off. This is the factory made housing that they have, and you can set that to the side. And here's a look inside of the cavity. Couple things to point out before we get started here. First off, this is going to be the stop, so you're going to hold this in while you're loosening the blade, because it'll hold this blade tight. Like as you see right now, it is moving. So let me put you guys down, and when I hit the stop, it should, yep, it'll take a minute, but once I push it down, now the blade doesn't move. So you just have to wheel it around with that pushed in. So like for example, I just moved it back. So I'm pushing in right now and it's not moving in. So basically, once I move this, you'll see my finger go in. So now it's locked, just like that. So as I was saying, this lever, it just is like a stop lever, so this needs to be pulled out so that you can be able to get the blade out, because if not, this is in the way of the blade. I know it's hard to see, but right now it's in the way of the blade. If I flip it up, it's out of the way of the blade. I got the button pressed in, so now the blade's not moving. And then you're going to take the wrench that I showed you guys before, and you're going to put it on there. And then loosen it. Just be careful. Luckily this one's tall enough so you don't hit the blades. But once you get it loose, you can loosen it up with just your finger. And it should slide right out of there. I keep the red button pressed at all times just because the blade won't move on me. And then you just need to get the washer off. And this is the hardest part, make sure you don't lose the washer. And then last but not least, the blade comes off. As you can see, the wear and tear on that thing. This is the factory given one, so I'm actually surprised how long this one lasted. So I'm excited to get a new blade. All right, as I mentioned, make sure you understand which way your teeth go. So my teeth face me. So I'm gonna slide this bad boy back on, press the button again, get the washer back on there, and then take your nut. Sorry, my fingers are probably gonna be in the way of me putting this nut back on, but I just don't wanna drop it. Nuts back on there, and now you take your wrench. Now you're going to want to get this tight. And she's tight. I don't have the table saw on a level surface. That's probably something you should do, is put it on a level surface when you're doing this. But yes, so I get it on there, and then what I do is make sure that it's straight and look to make sure it's straight. And once it's straight, I know it's straight, pull tug, make sure you come back and put your lever down. Lever gets pushed down like that, and then you come back and you put on your guard. And there you go, you have a new table saw blade. One last thing I forgot to mention, always make sure you return this to its spot so you know where it's at next time you need it. Thanks for joining me on this quick video as I switched out my table saw blade on my Delta table saw. As you saw, quick, simple, easy, definitely something you can do if you're a DIYer or anybody at home. So thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you around on the next project.